The word Champloo is defined as a blend, mix, or hybrid of multiple styles and motifs. Samurai were seen as noble from outside cultures, but the truth of the matter is, they were just like anyone else. Farmers, tradesmen, and family oriented. Not all samurai chose to work for the shogun. It's what made Samurai Champloo so amazing. This anime was never meant to be a work as dense as Cowboy Bebop or as cerebral as Macro Plus. It was meant to stand alone amongst all other works of art, as its identity is one of a mixed culture. Western music meets Eastern mythology. It was perfect. When I first watched this anime, I was a high schooler. Nothing had ever looked the same. No sound could have replaced the soundtrack. I was immersed within Edo, lost from the tides of outside noise. It was summer, the sky was blue and open, yet I was inside. I had just started smoking, watched through all of Soul Eater and Sword Art Online. At the time, I had grown tired of watching the same anime. I just finished Welcome to the NHK, and I was in need of some more 2000s anime. I was scrolling through streaming until I saw the title Samurai Champloo. Immediately enamored, I chose to spend the rest of the evening immersing myself inside of Watanabe's world. It stuck with me, like no anime had ever done. The bold-lined art style, the gorgeous soundtrack curated by Nujabei's Force of Nature Fat John and Suchi, the choreography of all the sword fights, and most importantly, the themes of loss, redemption, and identity all impact me greatly. Yet at the time, I didn't understand it at all. I found the ending badass but quick. I didn't understand why the narrative was so spontaneous, and overall, the anime sat in the back of my mind for a long time. It wasn't until I got older and then started to understand the themes and personality that made the anime so great. I was about 25 and I had already seen Cowboy Bebop, already spent time with other animes like JoJo's or Megalobox, but in the back of my brain, Champloo remained. When I did start watching it again, I was with a friend who had never seen the complete work. We would smoke, drink, and watch this masterpiece every time we hung out. It made the experience much more fulfilling because now I shared my love of this anime in the open. It was in that viewing period that I realized this is my favorite anime of all time. After that, I went searching for new anime within physical media. I had a little game shop open to all the time, and lo and behold, one day I saw a Blu-ray of Samurai Champloo on the shelf, waiting for me. I bought it and immediately took it home. The case itself had this beautiful art that, from what I can tell, was only on the Blu-ray. The discs are vinyl, making you feel like a DJ about to scratch some records for a set. The menus are full of life and expression, starting with that kick-ass Samurai Champloo scratch into the title screen. It's still, to this day, my preferred way to watch the series. Back in 2009, I created my first YouTube channel where I would make Lego animations, zombie videos, random VFX tests, and horror movies on my birthdays. My friends and I would create a narrative and a script on the fly. We acted it out, and my mom filmed it. It was a simple time, where I didn't think about being a YouTuber. I just was. Time moved on, I got into creating music, and memories of better days faded away. The only thing left for the teenage me afterwards was embarrassment. I deleted all the videos, only leaving my music. A part of me can't forgive myself for that, for forsaking a sacred time in my childhood for something I completely didn't understand yet. So this video isn't just me reintroducing myself to Samurai Champloo. It's me regaining what I had once lost. It's about making the journey to the samurai smells of sunflowers and reminiscing on what made YouTube so great to me as a kid. So without further ado, in summary, this is Samurai Champloo. Watanabe was born in Kyoto, May 24th, 1965, a transitionary time between modern industrialization and cultural heritage. Japan became more expansive, and Kyoto's western half was struggling to maintain cultural significance. Not much is known about Watanabe's past, but we do know that he joined the Japanese animation studio Sunrise, where he had created incredibly dynamic works like Macro Plus and Cowboy Bebop. which ultimately led him into the limelight. He was known for genre blending, creating a whole work from the pieces of many. His artwork, character designs, and immersive storylines put him above the rest of a lot of creators. To this day, he stands alone as my favorite anime director. He followed up on these works of art with Knocking on Heaven's Door, the Cowboy Bebop follow-up movie, while also producing the two works Kid's Story and a detective story for the Animatrix anthology. Eventually, in 2004, he created the very work we talk about today, Samurai Champloo. It aired on Fuji Television and featured a very talented English and Japanese voice cast. A personal favorite of mine, Steve Bloom, was front and center with the character Mugen. His voice always left a lasting impression on me, ever since I was a kid. The man could shoot rocks and spit out diamonds. He was also Spike for The Uninitiative, a long list of voice actors that would go down in history as the best of the genre. It became critically acclaimed, and to some fans, it had surpassed his previous work. By the way, I'm some fans. All of this accumulated an amazing portfolio, although I don't know if it ever met any exceptional market praise, but the best works usually don't. The first time I had seen it, it was late at night on Toonami with my dad, a memory which was unlocked by my dad's mention of it. I had no idea what I was watching. All I knew is that I loved it. I could still remember Toonami Tom talking to me through a hotel CRT, and it made my whole love for anime that much stronger. It wasn't just the cool sword fights or the cool supporting cast that made me love this anime though. Primarily, it was the soundtrack. Nujabes, or Jun Seba, was born in 1974 and created some of the most groundbreaking hip-hop music of all time. He's known as the godfather of lo-fi and created many of the modern, left-field aesthetics that dominated the golden age of lo-fi, circa 2010 to 2018. His beat arrangements were like meditation with a snare drum, every rhythm like a breath breathing through your chest or nose. Songs like Feather or Rurian Dance remind me of a sunny day outside, like a hug from someone you haven't seen in a while, or a day with a lover that fades away with the sunset. It means more to me than music. It is spirituality in a hip-hop song. I have a hard time putting into words how amazing the soundtrack is, so please, just listen to it yourself. As I mentioned earlier, contributing artists like Forces of Nature or Fat John tie the whole thing together beautifully as well. Everywhere you look on these albums, there's a song made for somebody. It creates this perfect balance of relaxation with the uneasiness of battle. I listen to these albums while walking around constantly. It just speaks to how good they are. When the sun is out, it's hot, and all you have is an iPod, headphones, and a water bottle, it creates a perfect evening. Some of my favorite things about these works is how the best ones cross over into my waking life. When I first started playing Persona, I would listen to the 5th soundtrack all the time while working, cooking, or cleaning up. It made the perfect background noise and it reminded me of what I had come to love. I believe that this soundtrack started all of that for me. Nujabes died February 26, 2010. He had passed on the same month he was born, a perfect circle. 2010 was the year I started focusing on music. When I was 13, I was listening to artists like MF Doom, Atmosphere, Brother Ali, Damn Atlas, and POS. It wasn't until around 2012 that I started listening to Nujabes, and it changed my life forever. I have a very vivid memory of listening to Lovesick Part 3, closing my eyes and visualizing jumping from planet to planet under the pulse of his beats. Metaphorical music and modal soul still hold a special place in my heart and probably always will. Even his early work as a DJ sits in my rotation. Tragically, after passing away in a traffic collision, we lost his work forever. Seba wasn't massively known during his life, but received a lot of posthumous fame after the fact. To this day, he stands as the greatest lo-fi producer of all time. Starting with tempestuous temperaments, it was very clear that this would be one ride you could not predict. Bombastic and in your face, the first episode of Samurai Champloo immediately set the tone for everything to come. If we're breaking it down hip-hop wise, Mugen's the lyrics, Jin's the beat, and Fu's the DJ. It all comes together in a beautiful cacophony of sound and style. Now, I won't be naming every episode, only the ones that stand alone above the rest, but I'd like to reiterate, every episode of this anime is worth watching. Red-eyed reprisals, another high for the series, going into more introspective territory while also maintaining its devil-may-care flair. Artistic Anarchy is a great breath of fresh air amongst the story as it pulls together rebellion, knowledge, and comedy all in the same breath. The Hellhounds for Hire episodes prior really tackled the weight of Edo period living, so having a more laid-back episode was probably a good play. Elegy of Entrapment is another standout episode for the mere fact that Mugen met an enemy he could not kill, and Jin learned how cruel the world can be to those unaccustomed. A heartbreaking story of a mother driven by attachment and loss. It's about how the things that once built us could just as easily destroy us. Beatbox Bandits is a personal favorite of mine. The Buddhist priests were an interesting subplot. Watching Mugen get higher than giraffe nuts was both cathartic and entertaining at the same time. Lethal Lunacy is balls to the wall awesome. I won't spoil much on this one, just watch it for yourself. Gamblers and Gallantry is a gut punch of an episode. Seeing Jin's longing and love for someone who was dealt a bad hand makes the ending that much more satisfying. Meanwhile, Mugen's getting money from beetle fights like a motherfucking legend. Misguided Miscreants gets more in depth with Mugen's past, and the ending of it is straight fucking brutal. No spoilers, just go watch it. Baseball Blues is absolutely silly and off the wall, so it's worth checking out too. Some older guy fucking dies playing baseball. It's awesome. Finally, we are left with Evanescent Encounter, the 3-part ending to this beautiful series. It reads like a grand novel or composer's magnum opus. The fight with Kagetoki, the darkness of lives being taken instantaneously, the tension that's constantly growing when Fu goes to meet her father, it all culminates into this perfect little package. Mugen's on the ropes for most of the fight, and he still finds a way to be kick-ass. Jin resurrects himself from the dead to take revenge of the one who killed his master, showed up, Aura farmed and then fell over. It's just, mwah. Only this time, Mugen and Jin weren't fighting for themselves. Jin always got dragged into fights, and Mugen was always dragging people into fights. The ending symbolizes the change that this journey has brought to them. In the end, dying felt worth it to get Fu to her destination, and that's beautiful. The ending especially shows that the journey itself was just as important as the destination. Their lives changed forever by the touch of friendship and adventure, looking towards the sky with fondness for times long past. It's the kind of ending that says everything it needs to say within a short time span. It's an ending that says, be happy it happened in the first place. Samurai Champloo is my favorite anime. It has everything that I love about the genre and continues to be an anchor for my life and heart. When I visited my dad in another state, we watched all of Samurai Champloo together. He loved every second of it, and it created this narrative in my head that I wasn't Mugen or Jin at all. I was Fu. Searching for what I had once lost, I found that it existed inside of me all along. It was a reminder that no matter how far I travel, my past will always be a path that I was proud to walk. Now I have to leave the home I've known for so long, leave the friends I've made along the way, and forge my own path. Just like Fu, I revisited the past in order to appreciate the future. This is why I'm writing the script and making this video. I'd like something to represent the first step of my journey. So far, my tea house is about to be burned down as my home no longer feels like my home. I have a time limit now, an expectation to leave. I'm not someone who likes to ask for things, but just once I'd like to receive some form of help. If you'd like to help me with the move, I've made a Patreon to support my YouTube content and moving expenses, as I'm not a large creator. For the future, I'd like to try and be a YouTuber again. Even just writing this brings me a form of peace, and I'm sure kid me would have forgiven myself if I created a new video catalog. So, here's to making change and being brave enough to do it in the first place. This has been, in summary, Samurai Champloo. Peace, y'all.